Hello everyone. I'm going live today on the topic of animals as vehicles for our spiritual and transformational growth. And I'm just going to give this a couple minutes to populate. So welcome everyone. I'm going to check in as well with my computer here to make sure that we are in fact live. It takes a couple minutes for this to happen. Of course, my internet's slow today, so we'll give it a couple seconds. I hope you'll join me. This isn't going to be a really long live. It's going to be a little shorter than my last one. Oops, I should mute my sound here, and I am trying to see what is going on, but my page isn't refreshing. So if you are here, give me a heart or a thumbs up or something to let me know you're here, and I am going to, don't know why sorry, I'm just checking to make sure you guys are here. I want it to be populated a little bit before I begin. So I'm, sorry. Don't think any of you are here yet, so I'm not really sure if I'm live. So give me oh, yay, I see lots of hearts coming. Woohoo! Yay, I love the hearts. I see you all. I don't know why my computer is acting completely crazy and I can't even see, can't even get the page up. So anyways, thank goodness that the live is working. I have enough internet speed to get live. I don't know what's going on today, but I'm going to, okay, I'm back online. I'm going to just go there. Sometimes if you put any comments in, I can't see them all as they go by my phone. Oh, there's some lag, Michelle is saying. Yay. Okay, so I'm so glad you're here. So today it's going to be a shorter live than maybe the last one I did, but I want to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about how animals are the vehicles for our spiritual transformation and growth. And I really have had some incredible things happen in my life. And after working with thousands of people in over 2 decades, I've seen just phenomenal things happen. So I wanted to share a little bit about it with you. And you guys are going to be able to put comments in as well. And I just want to find the live here. So it is working. So if any of you want to make any comments about it, anything that happened to you that you want to share, I'd be more than happy to discuss it just, a little bit, or if you have any specific questions about this. But what my true belief is that animals are the keepers of our soul's divine missions. So what that means is our soul's divine mission is really the highest expression of our soul in this lifetime, in this incarnation. So the animals have access to really our Akashic records and what we came here to do. So when we're in partnership with the animals, they can actually help us move in the direction and master the spiritual gifts we came here to learn. They can help us move into the direction of our soul's divine mission or our soul's highest purpose. And I think it's pretty amazing that the animals do that. And in my own case, it was my golden retriever Jigs. I mean, I always had a massive connection with animals, so don't get me wrong, it wasn't just Jigs that came along and started it. But I didn't have the kind of connection that I have now. Yay, hello for the hearts. I'm not seeing that we have too many people on the call, but hopefully we do. Keep sending those hearts and those thumbs up. I love to see them. And I'll give you some hearts back with my crazy green nails. Anyways, so the thing that's really amazing about, yay, lots of hearts. The thing that's really amazing about the animals, anyways, is that they have this ability to connect with our soul's divine mission. And as I mentioned, Jigs came to me, my golden retriever, who's now in the spirit realm and is very much a guide for everything I do. He came to me back in 1993, and he completely nudged me in the direction of my soul's divine mission. And so what happened was I was selling real estate quite happily and quite successfully, and everything was fine. I was living a great life, and Jigs came along, and just everything changed from that minute. And literally, he literally nudged me and transformed me, and really guided me to this work. And it's a really long story, which I might share in another live because I don't have as much time this time, but. It's really Jigs doing that I have been an animal intuitive, that I have been working with people and their animals for over 20 years now, probably about 25 years. It's also all because of him that I teach everything that I've learned through him, and the things that I was guided to learn when he came my way. So it's really an amazing path when we are open enough to connect with our animals. And I wrote a couple notes here, so I want to make sure I don't miss saying a couple things here. You know, when I talked about the animals being the keepers of our soul's divine mission, oftentimes we'll get like a gentle nudging toward our soul's divine mission from the animals, but sometimes we'll get like the proverbial 2x4, like bonk on the head, you know, and we're like, what? You know, and it's because we're not really paying heed to what they're trying to tell us. And just like our angelic guides and all kinds of other beings, our animals, whether they're on this physical plane or not, even if they're in spirit, can still guide us and can still very much give us the proverbial 2x4, you know, if we're not listening to the guidance that they have for us. So it's pretty amazing to really look back on some of your relationships with your animals and see how you've changed, see how you've grown spiritually, see how you've had massive transformations. Because I mean, I'm a believer that if you look for the transformation, you're always going to find it. Sometimes we kind of can go through life with blinders on, and you know, as I like to say, sometimes it's like we have a headset on and we're listening to music and we're not really paying complete attention to what's really happening in front of us in our lives. So really, I want you to all be very conscious of what is happening, you know, as a direct result of being in partnership with your animal companions. The animals guide us in terms of career. I worked with a woman in California, a client of mine, and she was, she had a little boutique, and I won't name her boutique in her city or anything right now, but she had a boutique, and it was completely guided. The career change and the boutique and what she did with the boutique was completely guided by her bunny. And we had lots of conversations, and you know, it was really amazing to see how the bunny really switched her careers. My jig certainly changed my careers. I went from real estate to doing this, and I've been doing this since the early 90s now. And have a, you know, huge following at this point in time. So the other thing that the animals really help us with is our, I'm just going to check here and see if we are getting, yep, we're getting some, it's working. I just want to make sure. When you're on this end, you never know for sure if it's working, and I want to make sure it is. So the animals also guide us, you know, in regards to relationships. Yay, hearts. Thank you. They guide us in relation to our relationships. They guide us about, you know, they can do it through animal communication, of course. I've had many a consultation with people where their animals, you know, they may have asked their animals what they thought about a certain person that they were in relationship with, whether it's a business partner, a friend, a love interest, whatever, you know. They have an opinion on all of it, and usually they're always right. I mean, I would say they are always right. And so I've had people's animals, you know, really strongly advise them against a certain relationship that was clearly just not working and not to the benefit of that person. And the animal was having a lot of stress because they were absorbing it from their human while they were in this particular relationship. So it's really important that we listen to them and that we understand really you know, how they're connected to us. They're connected to us energetically. It's like there's an overlap between our aura and the aura of our animal companions, the ones we're really close to, and there's chakra links as well. So we're very, very connected to our animal companions. And you know, sometimes there can be business advice. There can be really advice about anything: financial, work, relationship, changing careers, going back to school, training in a new modality or a completely new field, all of that kind of thing. They do that. This woman I mentioned who had the boutique in California, her bunny was like paramount in that. Jigs has been huge in my career, and Jigs really comes forth as a guide to all my students as well. He's when he crossed over back in 2007, he was clear that he wanted to stay on the spirit realm, and he had more to do on the spirit realm. And hey, Kim, I see Kim's little heart. I don't know how you people actually make your profile picture turn into a heart. Maybe it's because if you're already my friends. Anyways, I like it. Thank you. Anyhow, so the animals are here to teach us. And we learn so many lessons from them. We learn lessons in patience. We learn lessons in really learning and taking responsibility for everything that's going on. You know, Jake's had some health issues as a young dog, and I was taking him to the vet, it seemed like every 2 weeks, and we weren't really getting anywhere. And I really came to realize that I had to be the number one person that was responsible for his health, and I had to be the advocate, and I had to learn things that I needed to learn to be able to help him. I mean, really, that's the bottom line. You know, the animals really teach us a lot about taking responsibility. You know, for ourselves and our actions and everything. You know, we have to be there to feed them. We have to be there to walk them. They help us, you know, on so many levels. They help us get exercise. Many of us who are, you know, maybe alone and don't have children and live alone, and we could be sedentary, but if we have a dog that needs a walk every day, or we have horses that we need to, figures, right? I don't get a call. That's the first time my cell phone rang today. So anyways, they're guides for us. They really do help to guide us along our spiritual paths. So many of us wouldn't really be where we're at now if it wasn't for the animals. I see Kim's on the call, and Kim's a phenomenal equine photographer, Kimberly Spencer, and she was really guided. You know, I know this. We haven't even talked about it, but I know she was really guided by her relationship with the animals, you know. And I know many of you others on the call are healers and psychics and animal communicators and coaches and entrepreneurs, and I know many of you were really guided. They really are kind of like these beacons that kind of just help us to navigate our way through life. And they also heal us. And I want to ask, I see that there's some lag. If anybody has anything they would like to ask, feel free to post your question. I know it takes a couple of minutes. So the last piece I wanted to talk about is healing. And you know, animals can come to us for so many different reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is to really work with our energy fields, help us heal physically if we have any physical ailments, and also to help heal our hearts. You know, that's really what they're all about. They're like big, you know, bundles of love that help us to heal our hearts. Whether we, you know, have had a big loss in our lives, you know, or whether or not we have maybe, you know, have an illness. Like we could have had a loss of a you know, loved one. We could have had a loss of another animal companion, and they will even come to you to help you deal with the loss of your animal companion or a loved one, and they can be like better at doing that than any other being on the face of this earth. That unconditional love they have, and lack of judgment and complete surrender. They teach us so many things. So I just wanted to share this little bit. We don't have as many people on today as usual. If anybody has a question about what I'm talking about, please just post it here and I will get to it if I can. Oh, the last piece. There is one other piece. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm just telling me I have a voicemail. There's too many things that can happen with an iPhone. I'm sure there's a way to stop all that when you're doing a live, and I'll have to learn that. The other thing that I have found is really huge when it comes to our animal companions is that they completely help us to develop our psychic, intuitive, and healing gifts. You know, our animal communication gifts. They came here. They are completely connected, first of all. They really know what's going on with themselves, with you, with other animals, in your family. They have it all, you know, within. It's like they have complete direct access. And we have the ability to live that way too, and to have those skills. But we don't always pay attention. We don't always spend the time to develop it. And so our animal companions are really here to teach us to really open up to our spiritual gifts that we came in with, but we may not have any real knowledge of, when we first arrive in this planet. And somehow when they come into our lives, they tend to awaken us and help us to go in that direction. So, it's like whatever gifts you have, and they vary so much. I mean, just in the psychic realm, there's clairaudient, clairsentient, clairvoyance, and claircognizance. Those are like the four main clairs. There's lots of others. So it's like being able to hear messages, being able to see things, being able to feel things, or being able to know things. And when you know things, it can sometimes be funny because it's like a direct download and you know it, but you don't really know why you know it. And you don't even have necessarily the consciousness of understanding that it came to you, from that being, or that it came to you psychically, but you somehow know it. So there's all of that. There's all of the different healing ways. There's so many other ways to really connect. And in my trainings, what I really notice is that people tend to awaken their gifts in very different ways, depending on who they are, and your animal companions are playing a role in that, as well as your animal guides. And we all have animal guides. And in my animal energy certification training program, I talk a lot. Each person receives an animal guide to learn this skill in an even bigger way. Hey, I see lots more people coming on. I'm going to just read off my computer, so apologize while I look to the side, but it's easier for me to see it that way. Michelle is saying that is so true. All the dogs that came after the dog we lost have helped with the healing in different ways. Absolutely. It's phenomenal. I have a friend, the friend that was calling just now, who's still up on my screen, saying I have a voicemail 4 minutes ago. She has a guide dog, and her first guide dog crossed over, I want to say 2 summers ago, and she was devastated because she's got an illness, and the dog really, really helped her. And the dog was her main support system, let's say, besides the humans in her life, but she was alone with the dog most of the time. So when her dog crossed over, she got another little dog, and he's amazing, and he came to her, and she rescued him as much as he rescued her. They were quite amazing together. Nikki is saying she has a deaf pit bull that I think came to help with my anxiety and depression from the loss of my heart dog. Absolutely. They are real major helpers in our anxiety. I mean, I won't say that at times when we're going through the shifts of getting them and getting everything settled, they can also create some anxiety. But in the long run, they're huge, huge healers for us. They heal all kinds of things. They've been known to, hi Janine, thanks for joining. They have been known to help us in so many different ways. They've been known to absorb illnesses from us to help heal us. So it's so important that we stay connected to them in a big way. I've known dogs that have absorbed cancers from people, and that's like huge and really, really phenomenal. If anybody has a last question, we are probably going to wrap shortly, just because I have to be somewhere, but I wanted to pop on and do a quick little connection here with you all. And I want to share, to pay attention to what your dogs are doing. Somebody recently was just telling me something about a dog they had, a relatively recently new dog they had, that was, it was on a radio show. I was on a radio show out of Ontario, Canada last Friday night, and he was telling me, the host on the, probably shouldn't be saying this publicly, so I won't give any more details than that, but the host was telling me that they had this dog, and he was constantly like licking and all around here, just on him, and turns out he had a tumor there. And the dog actually was going at this area because he had a tumor. I have another client who had a Doberman, and her Doberman could determine whether her moles were cancerous or not. And I've had other people tell me things like, my cat insists on laying on my heart chakra, or laying on my throat chakra, or even my third eye or crown. And you'll notice if you have cats, they tend to be very specific about where they are. And usually they're there to help clear the energy, or they're there to help us, to help us develop something, or to tell us there's an issue in the area. So that when they're there, they're clearing as well. So they're, who knows, the tumor that fellow had might have been worse had the dog not been around it so much and really bringing it to his attention. So I'm just checking in to see if we have any last minute questions, and we're going to be doing a lot more of these. I had them planned for last week, but things got crazy and I didn't get them done. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit more about how animals are vehicles for our spiritual growth and transformation. They are really amazing beings, and I want to thank all you for being here. And share, if you like it, share the post, please. Like it, comment it on it, and there will be lots more. I see all the hearts. Yay! Thank you so much for the hearts. It's nice to see them going by. Bye-bye now. Everybody have a great weekend, and who knows, maybe I'll pop on the weekend too. Oh, I just have to share this. Deborah said I feel like a cat mattress. That's great. I know. I had another client tell me that she had so many animals that there was only room for her eyelashes on the bed. She said that was the only part of her that could fit on her bed after all her animals got there. So anyways, happy Friday. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.